And he systematically mentioned other things which are necessary for a leader to know. Now he enthroned him. Vishnu Maharaj has taken over. And in addition to Vishnu Dev, Lord Krishna in addition to what Vishnu Dev did, Lord Krishna himself was personally present, making sure that what Vishnu Dev gave to Yudhishthira Maharaj was properly understood. And Yudhishthira Maharaj he is in full knowledge of what he's supposed to do, not in confusion. He knows what he's supposed to do. Now he knows what he's supposed to do. And he's ready to do it. And Lord Krishna saw to it that Yudhishthira Maharaj is properly situated. In addition to this one, like Kavi Kanapura Goswami said, when the person who knows what to do, a servant who knows what to do, and when there is a time for that servant to perform the duty, there is no confusion. There's no confusion. Yudhishthira Maharaj knows what to do. He have been trained. I know what to do, and Lord Krishna guided him to be sure that yes, everything is true. So he has ascended the throne. This is where we are. So Sonakarisi, who is very experienced, is asking questions. Usually, for a materialistic person like you, like a materialistic person like Jirodan, right? When he get a kingdom, when he get a position, what will he do?
My dear.
It is for sense gratification.
Yeah.
Salika, can you make sure this thing doesn't happen? And comparing the two, Yudhishthira Maharaj, who is not interested at all in the kingdom. He's not interested. He is never interested. And taking this position, what was his mood? This is the question from Sonakarisi. So text 1. Sonakarisi is question. Sonaka uvacha atva sarika frida atatayino yudhishthiro dharma prithambaristam sahanujai prachavarutha bhujana patam pravrita kim akarasi tata. Sunaka Muni asked, after killing his enemies who desired to usurp his rightful inheritance, how did the greatest of all men, of all religious men, Maharaj Yudhishthira, assisted by his brother, rule his subject? Surely he could not freely enjoy his kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. This is the inquisitiveness of Sonakarisi. Surely he could not freely enjoy his kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. In Yudhishthira's reign, Sutta Goswami replied that Krishna was pleased to install Yudhishthira on the throne. Thus, restoring to power a Kuru dynasty issuing from Pandu. For his part, Yudhishthira, guided by Bhishma's words and assisted by his younger brothers, ruled the kingdom dutifully and effectively. Yeah, it is very beautiful. He ruled effectively. Sometimes you get somebody who is efficient. May not be effective. Efficient means that one knows, he may have the ability, he may have the knowledge. If one does not have the skills or have the wisdom, our knowing something will not bring the best results. We need also to be efficient. Efficient means that one is producing the required results. One is performing the required results. One is efficient, means that you are producing. You can create, you can manifest, you can produce something that is beneficial. So here, Yudhishthira Maharaj says he performed his duty dutifully and effectively. That means that his governance benefited the citizens. And that is the difference. And that is the main reason why Lord Krishna wanted him to be on the throne. Yudhishthira Maharaj was already asking, Dhira is already doing everything nicely. What is the use of our fighting just for a kingdom? If he's not performing his duty, that's okay. He is doing his duty perfectly and the citizens are happy. Why do we have to fight again? So this is the answer. Yes, Dhira is doing everything. Things are going on. It's okay. What is the result? Were people happy? No. What is the religious activity of the citizen? Is it up to the standard? No. So it could be that he is doing these things, but it's not effective because his management is not producing results, not a benefiting result. Means that because he's not godly, he's not going to lead people to godliness. So Krishna wanted a godly person to be on the throne, to lead. So now we see the results. Now we are seeing the result of Krishna fight. Krishna having bent on having the war, so that the unwanted plant like Dhira is removed, and the wanted plant like Yudhishthira is installed. So now he is doing it effectively. So Krishna saw to it that he is doing that. Cloud showered the water. That is a sign that a good king, a pious king is ruling. Sufficient rain, abundant to milk, and no one in the kingdom was disturbed by agony, by disease, by heat or cold, just like now. Like now, too much cold, too much heat is a sign that unrighteous person is ruling. Unrighteous person is ruling. When there is too much cold or too much heat, when Krishna was saying, when Yudhishthira Maharaj was ruling, everything was perfect. The winter was like spring. The winter was like spring. The summer also was like spring. Everything was perfect. Even though the 6 seasons were present, they were all pleasing. All were pleasing. That is why, how you know, A righteous person is holy. Maharaj Yudhishthira established on the throne. When Yudhishthira Maharaj established on the throne, and Maharaj Parikshit, the kingdom's head, said, the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna was satisfied. During the first few months of Yudhishthira Maharaj's reign, Krishna remained in Hastapura to please his relatives. Finally, the Lord requested the king's permission to depart from Dwara. Fainting in fear of separation from Krishna, their heart melting in affection, the resident of Hastinapura stared at the Lord with unblinking eyes. Yudhishthira Maharaj on the throne. Why is he there? He fought, therefore, for the right cause under the guidance of Sri Krishna. But he could not enjoy the result of his victory because his cousins were all killed in the battle. He therefore ruled over the kingdom as a matter of duty. He fought, he ruled only as a matter of duty, assisted by his younger brothers. So the inquiry was important for Suna Parisi, who wanted to know about the behavior of Maharaj Yudhishthira when he was at ease, enjoying the kingdom. He would not enjoy the kingdom because he did not get the kingdom because he wanted to enjoy. He is in the position because he wants to serve. He wants to serve. This is for service, not for enjoyment. Text number 2. So Sutta Goswami is speaking. Sukadeva Goswami said, Sutta Goswami said, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is a maintainer of the world, became pleased after re-establishing Maharaj Yudhishthira in his own kingdom and after restoring the Kuru dynasty, which had been exhausted by the bamboo fire anger. The bamboo fire of anger. The Lord therefore wanted his bona fide representative to rule the world. Lord Sri Krishna descended to establish this sort of regime and to kill the unwanted persons who have nothing to do with his plan. The battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of the Lord, so that undesirable persons could get out of the world, and a peaceful kingdom under his devotee would be established. The Lord was therefore fully satisfied when King Yudhishthira was on the throne and the seedling of the dynasty of Kuru in the person of Maharaj Parikshit was saved. Yes, this is a plan of the Krishna, and it is being fulfilled. And Lord Krishna is happy. That is natural for every responsible leader to see that what he established, he has trained also responsible successors who take over everything and maintain everything nicely. This is a rule. Another day we are mentioning any leader who is not preparing for succession, is not training people to take over from him, is very disastrous, very dangerous. And we should not tolerate that. Should not tolerate that. So see to it that what had been painstakingly established will continue because it is for the benefit of the whole world. Text number 3. Maharaj Yudhishthira, after being enlightened by what was spoken by Bhismadev and Sri Krishna, the infallible, engaged himself in matter of perfect knowledge because all his misgivings were eradicated. Thus, he ruled over the earth and seas and was followed by his younger brothers. Yudhishthira Maharaj ruled the earth and seas, the earth and the seas, and was followed by his younger brothers. This is very, very important. Very important. The conception on one world state can only be fulfilled if we can follow the infallible authority. Only if we follow the infallible authority, the Supreme Personality of the Lord Krishna. Only if we follow it. An imperfect human being cannot create an ideology acceptable to everyone. Only the perfect and infallible can create a program which is applicable at every place and can be followed by all in the world. It is the person who rules and not the impersonal government. If the person is perfect, the government is perfect. If the person is a fool, the government is a fool's paradise. That is the law of nature. There are so many stories of imperfect kings or executive heads. Therefore, the executive head must be a trained person like Maharaj Yudhishthira, and he must have a full autocratic power to rule over the world. A conception of the world state can take shape only under the regime of a perfect king like Maharaj Yudhishthira. The world was happy in those days because there were kings like Maharaj Yudhishthira to rule over the world. These days we don't have Maharaj Yudhishthira, and we can see what is happening. Even at the present moment, you can see what is happening. We cannot compare what is happening, the killing of people, to what has happened 5,000 years ago. We cannot compare. Killing people under someone's ambition is the sinful and not religious. But when one acts on behalf of the Supreme Personality of God, the infallible Personality of God, who is a universal authority, everybody will benefit. Everybody will benefit. Because his activities is meant for the benefit of people. And the selfish activity of ambitious people will never benefit anyone. Even they themselves who are selfish, they will never benefit from it because it is demonic. Demonic activities cannot satisfy. Not only other people, including those demonic persons who are perpetrating these evils, they themselves will not enjoy it because it is unbeneficial. Ugra karma jagata hitaya. Krishna said about it. Ugra karma, horrible activity which is meant for the destruction of the world. It is happening and we can see it every day. We can see it every day. This is not the way Maharaj Yudhishthira ruled the world. It was peace. Even up to the point that the demigod in charge of water was also responsible to pay taxes to Maharaj Yudhishthira. because of his pure position. So it's mentioned here the sea. He ruled the earth and the seas. Yudhishthira Maharaj was ruling, so the emperor was ruling. All other kings were paying their tribute to him, having accepted his authority as supreme in the material. After all, a person who is not ambitious, but is acting only for the benefit of people, being guided by perfect authority like Bhismadev and supported by Lord Krishna, what can such a person do? Maharaj Yudhishthira will never do anything which will not benefit anyone. He will never do it. That's the difference. And the result is that there was abundance of necessities. Now people are suffering to get even the bare necessities of life. Is not available for some countries. Any country. Yes. Pamamba parasapa parajanyam sarabakama duga mahi sichu sma rajani bava ayasoda satiri muda. During the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira, the cloud showers all the water that people needed. And the earth produced all the necessities of man in profusion. Due to ill-fatty milk bag and cheerful attitude, the cow used to moisten the grazing ground with milk. This is what Maharaj Yudhishthira did. So we can see that it's not just about being in a position. He is very, very efficient in his management. In his government, he was very efficient. Very, very efficient. That rain was falling during the daytime, not in the night. Rain falls only in the night, not in the daytime. Yes. If the rain falls in the daytime, is not auspicious, because it will destroy the quality of the soil. When Maharaj Yudhishthira was ruling, rain never falls in the daytime. Rain falls only in the night, and sufficient, no drought. There was no drought. Like now, so many drought all over. Presently, Australia is inside water. Some part of Australia is inside water now. While the war is going in other places, another place is the water is there. Another place is the criminals are harassing the citizens day and night. Serious unrest all over the world. Serious unrest. Why this unrest? Because we don't have Maharaj Yudhishthira as our leader. And why we don't have Maharaj Yudhishthira? Our suffering is because we don't have a perfect leader. But why we don't have a perfect leader? That was my question to anyone. Anyone of you can answer me. Why we don't have a perfect leader who can rule us? That we have abundance of all the necessities of life. Easily, not with the hard struggle like is happening now. Why we don't have such a leader? Kamalaksa Prabhu. Kamalaksa Prabhu is there. Oh, yeah, it's gone somewhere. Kenneth Kamalaksha. Where is Kenneth Kamalaksha? Jyoti Swarup. Jyoti Swarup.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Please my Danvat Pranam.
Thank you. Did you understand my question?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, please tell me.
Maharaj, there is no peace and the whole world is unrest because the person who is ruling, they don't have Krishna consciousness in their life. So
Okay.
that's why all the miseries are going on.
My question was, why we don't have Mahara Yudhishthira today? Why we have people who are not Krishna conscious as our leaders? Why? Why we don't have Yudhishthira Maharaj or Parikshit Maharaj or Dasharatha Maharaj or Ramchandra Bhagwan? Why we don't have them today ruling us? So we can have the same peace. Look at what the cows are doing. The cows are emitting unlimited quantities of milk. As they're moving, the cows are moving, they wet the ground with their milk. Why we don't have, yes, Mataji, Marana?
Kali Yuga.
Kali Yuga, okay, one, good. This is Kali Yuga. And then what is Kali Yuga? What is Kali Yuga? Thank you. Good. This is Kali Yuga. So, what is Kali Yuga? Salika Prabhu. Salika Prabhu is there. Kamalasha is not there. Salika is not there. All of them are busy doing something. Okay. Rasavan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I'm here because I'm outdoors, so that's why I'm not talking. So I don't want the noise to disturb. But I gave my response in the chat room. It is as a result of the impious population that we have impious leaders.
Thank you. Thank you. The king, the ruler is coming from where? Where would the ruler of every country, where would the ruler come from? He's coming from that country. So the king is the aggregate consciousness for the citizen. So we don't have a good leader because we ourselves are not good. That is why whoever comes to rule our country is coming from us. It's the same mentality we have. So he's not good because we are not good. Not that it is not that we are good and he is bad. It's not like that. It's because we are bad, so we also have a bad person because the person is coming from us. That is the reason. Thank you, Mr. Dr. So instead of pointing hand to the leaders, we should point hand to ourselves. It cannot be true that you are a pure devotee and your leader is not pure. If you are a pure devotee, your leader also will be pure. Why Krishna wanted Yudhishthira Maharaj to do? Because the citizens are pious. So Krishna, they don't allow impious person to come and rule them. He didn't allow it, even though there were several attempts to make sure Dhira remained there. But Krishna also made a serious plan not to allow him to be there. If the citizens are like us, Krishna wouldn't have bothered himself. He will also allow us to fail because that is what we are due for. Not cheating. The basic principle of economic development is centered on the man and cows. The necessities of human society are food, grains, fruit, milk, minerals, clothing, wood, etc. One requires all these items to fulfill the material needs of the body. Certainly, one does not require flesh and fish or iron, tools, and machinery. We don't need that. What we need is simple, nature provided. Yes. Text 5. The rivers, the oceans, the hills, the mountains, forests, creepers, and active droughts in every season pay their tax quota to the king in profusion. Yes, everything is going on perfectly. Everything is going on perfectly. Nobody can act otherwise. Nobody. So we need, not only do regulatory rains they have ample production of grains and fruit, but when they combine with astronomical influences, there is ample production of valuable stones and pearls. Grains and vegetables can sumptuously feed a man and animals, and a fatty cow delivers enough milk to supply a man sumptuously with vigor and vitality. If there is enough milk, enough grains, enough fruit, enough cotton, enough silk, and enough shoes, why then why do the people need cinemas, houses for prostitution, slaughterhouses, etc.? Why? There is no need for this thing. It is because we are very sinful and have created artificial life. We have to pay the heavy price, which is going on now that everyone is experiencing the result of our activities. What every individual person does goes to the eater, and it will process by nature, and the result will come back to us. The result of what the negativity we're putting into the eater is coming back, and we are experiencing it. Nobody is to be blamed for whatever is happening. We are individually responsible for what is happening. The river will flow profusely to fertilize the land. The ocean will supply sufficient quantities of minerals, pearls, and jewels. The forest will supply sufficient food, drugs, and vegetables. And the seasonal changes will effectively help produce fruits and flowers in profuse quantity. Without being educated properly, the mass of people are falling in the footsteps of the vested interests by exploiting natural reserves. And therefore, there is acute competition between individual and individual, nation and nation. There is no control by the trained agent of the Lord. We must look into the defect of modern civilization by comparison here, and should follow in the footsteps of Maharaja Yudhishthira to cleanse man and wipe out anachronisms. Anachronisms. Text 6. Because of the kings having no enemy, Nadayo Vyataya Klesa Daiva Bhutatama Tava Adaka Patru Abhavan Dantunam Vakyikaritichit. Because of the kings having no enemy, Ajata Satru Abhavan. The living beings were not at any time disturbed by mental agony, diseases, or excessive heat, cold. This is the result. Maharaj Yudhishthira is ruling. What is his qualification? Ajata Satru, he has no enemy. Because he has no enemy, he is constantly projecting goodwill, serenity, happiness, joy, satisfaction, and peace, health. He's constantly breathing this and sending to the whole universe. The result is that he comes back and everyone is blessed. Today we are constantly, both day and night, thinking how to destroy. Look at our world. Look at our world situation. People sit down together in a meeting. You know, all the world leaders come and sit down together in a meeting to discuss what? The world leaders, they always have a meeting. They're sitting down there to discuss. What are they discussing? While they're sitting there discussing, they're simply thinking the next ammunition I should create to destroy you. But all of them are thinking that what the next weapon I should make to destroy you. We're looking at each other's face and talking our nonsense. In my mind, I'm thinking, when I get back out of this meeting, what's the next weapon I should create so that I will destroy you at any moment? Why our leaders are spending so much money for ammunition and not so on education, not so in religion, not so in agriculture. There's not so much research on agriculture all over the world. Look at our universities. How much energy people are putting into agricultural research in our universities around the world? How much? Huh? It is 0 or 0.0, whatever. Look at it very carefully. Then look at how much energy our leaders are putting into ammunition. Look at it. We're sitting in the meeting, we are discussing what in the mind I'm thinking, and you are thinking, all of us are thinking, what is the next weapon I should manufacture so I can destroy you in a moment? Is that meeting? Is that organization? Is that organization? Is that a meeting? How we should constantly think how to destroy each other. What did I do to you? What did you do to me that I'm not thinking about your welfare? I'm constantly thinking about your destruction. Because I'm seeing you as an enemy. Look at Maharaj Yudhishthira, Ajatasatru. He has no enemy. Because he has no enemy, he constantly thinking about the welfare of everyone, all living entities. And because of that, there is prosperity. Because of the kings having no enemy, the living beings were not at any time disturbed by mental agonies. Look at the World Health Organization report. Number one disease would be what? Well, what is the number one disease confronting all living entities presently? Which one? Number one disease which is confronting everyone. According to the report from the World Health Organization. Which one? Which one is that? Did you get my question? Is my question hard? No answer. Salika says something. Noted. All right. Kamala Shepherd is struggling with the format. All right. What is the number one disease for the whole world, confronting the whole world? United Nations, they made a survey and they came up with this report. Mental disease. It's a mental disease. But Yudhishthira Maharaj, he just his life alone, nothing, no medicine, he is already contracting that. Mental disease. Look at Maharaj Yudhishthira. Nothing like mental disease for the citizens. There's no disease, and there is no excessive heat and cold. Everyone was free. And in the time of Lord Ramachandra, it was said that those who did not want to die will not die. People choose what they want to do, but they say people choose the time they want to leave the body at their will. Like That is, which is the prerogative of the powerful yogis, successful yogis. They choose their time, but Lord Ramachandra made it very easy, whether you're a yogi or not a yogi. You can choose the time you like. You can choose the time you like. Yudhishthira Maharaj. To be non-envious to human beings and to be a killer of enemy of the poor animals is Satan's philosophy. Now you're not even non-violence to humans. Ammunition is what? Ammunition, heavy sophisticated ammunition that being manufactured regularly is for what? It's for killing. It's not for killing animals, it's for killing humans.
That's wicked, man. Yeah.
Madhavan Prabhu, please stop this.
I'm sorry.
Can you, Sarika Prabhu, so you should mute him. Sarika Prabhu, can you? Yes, thank you. So we're learning from Yudhishthira Maharaj, we're learning what it means to be a leader, to be a devotee. Our activities should be beneficial for everyone. Our activities should be beneficial. It's a devotee. It should be beneficial for all, not destructive. Destructive mentality, the Bible says this is Satan's philosophy. Satan's philosophy. Unless one is pious and recognized by the Lord, he cannot make others happy who are under his care. There is full cooperation between man and God, and man and nature. And this conscious cooperation between man and God and man and nature, as exemplified by King Yudhishthira, can bring about happiness, peace, and prosperity in the world. The attitude of exploiting one another, the custom of the day, will only bring miseries, nothing more than that. This is what we are experiencing. Kusitwa hastina pure masan kati payan hari suhridam cha vishokaya swasucha prijaka myayan. Sri Hari, Lord Sri Krishna, resided at Hastinapur for a few months to pacify his relatives and please his own sister, Subhadra. That's why Krishna stayed here. Krishna was to start with Dwarka, his own kingdom, after the battle of Kurukshetra and Yudhishthira being enthroned. But to oblige the request of Maharaj Yudhishthira and to show special mercy to Bhismadev, Lord Krishna stopped at Hastinapur, the capital of the Pandavas. The Lord decided to stay especially to pacify the aggrieved king as well as to please Subhadra, sister of Lord Sri Krishna. Subhadra was especially to be pacified because he lost her only son, Abhimanyu, who was just married. The boy left his wife, Uttara, mother of Maharaj. The Lord is always pleased to satisfy his devotees in any capacity. Only his devotees can play the part of his relatives. The Lord is absolute. All right, Krishna. All right, you can take a break. We can have a 10-minute break. Nice. It takes 10-minute break. 10-minute break. I'll see you back after 10 minutes. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right, I'm back. Yes. Lord Krishna did not go to Dwaraka immediately because he wanted to spend some time and pacify his sister, his younger sister, a bit. So he came and ordered them to Hastinapur. That is where we are. She was very aggrieved because she lost her only son, Abimai, who was just married. So it's a very sorrowful situation. So Krishna playing the part. His prophecy here is what is the Lord is absolute. It's absolute. Complete in everything. So he did that. And we look at text 8. Mantra Chadyu Yata Parishwaja Ajatan Ruha Patam Kaischit Parishwakto Ivaditam. Afterwards, when the Lord asked permission to depart, and the king gave it, the Lord offered his respect to Maharaj Yudhishthira by bowing down at his feet, and the king embraced him. After this, the Lord, being embraced by others and receiving their obeisances, got into the chariot. Subhadra Draupadi Kunti Irata Tanaya Tata Gandhari Dhritarashtra Cha Yudsu Gotamo Yamo Vri Kotaras Chadomyascha Sriyo Matsya Sutadaya Nas Sehire Vimuyantu Viraham Sarangadana. At that time, Subhadra, thank you. At that time, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, Uttara, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, Yudsu, Kripacharya, Nakula, Sahadev, Bhimasena, Domya, and Satyavati all nearly fainted, because it was impossible for them to bear separation from Lord Krishna. Yes, it's another problem. This is another problem. What is the problem? The problem is a pain of separation from Lord Krishna. Unbearable pain of separation from Krishna. Yes. Papa said, Lord Sri Krishna is so attractive. Krishna is so attractive for the living beings, especially for the devotees. Especially for the devotees that it is impossible for them to tolerate separation. The conditioned soul under the spell of illusory energy forget the Lord. Otherwise, he cannot. The feelings of such separation cannot be described, but it can simply be imagined by devotee only. After his separation from Vrindavan, the innocent rural cowhead boys, girls, ladies, and others, they all felt shock throughout their lives. And the separation of Radharani, the most beloved cowhead girl, is beyond expression. Once they met at Kurukshetra during the solar eclipse, and the feeling which was expressed by them is heart-rending. There is, of course, a difference in the qualities of transcendental devotees of the Lord, for none of them who have ever contacted the Lord by direct communion or otherwise can leave him for a moment. That is the attitude of the pure devotees. So Sutra Goswami point out that one who has understood Krishna in association of pure devotees and has freed himself from materialistic association is attracted to hearing Krishna's glories constantly. Such a person's attraction will increase. It will increase. It will continue to increase. Section 12 and 11. The intelligent who have understood the Supreme Lord in association with pure devotees and have become free from bad materialistic association can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have had them only once. How then would the Pandavas tolerate his separation? For they had been intimately associated with his person, seeing him face to face, touching him, conversing with him, and sleeping, sitting, and dining with him. This the Pandavas did every day. For a person who just had of Krishna just once, from a pure devotee, becomes free from bad materialistic association, and will not avoid hearing about Krishna. So that is a situation for a person who just had one. What about those who sleep with Krishna every day? They eat with Krishna every day. They are talking with Krishna every day. They are touching Krishna every day. They see Krishna every day, face to face. What would be their situation? Huh? The situation is terrible. The situation is very terrible. The pain of separation will be terrible, unbearable. That is why when Krishna did this in Vrindavan, all the cowhead girls fainted. They fainted. We are not experiencing it because we are covered over and we don't have love for Krishna. We are covered over by Maya, the illusory energy of Krishna. And we don't have love for Krishna, therefore we can't experience it. But at least we can have a materialistic experience. We can have a material experience of lust. Just material experience of lust. Just take it from that level, and you can imagine how a transcendental love for Krishna, and the pain of suppression that one will experience from that would need at least to have a glimpse of it. Some bearable pain. Prabhupada said in a purport, by such association, one is gradually promoted to his transcendental constitution, transcendental consciousness. Thus, he can know that his eternal position is to render service unto the Lord and not to the perverted senses in the capacity of lust, anger, desire to lord it over, etc. By associating with pure devotees and by hearing them submissively, attachment for material enjoyment becomes slackened. An attraction for hearing about the transcendental activities of the Lord becomes prominent. Once they will go on progressively without stoppage, like fire in gunpowder. It is said that Hari, the personality of Godhead, is so transcendentally attractive that even those who are self-satisfied by self-realization and are factually liberated from all material bondage also become devotees of the Lord. Under the circumstances, it is easily understood what must have been the position of the Pandavas, who were constant companions of the Lord. They could not even think of separation from Sri Krishna, since their attraction was more intense for them because of continuous personal contact. His remembrance by his form, his quality, his name, fame, pastimes, etc., is also attractive for the pure devotee. So much so that he forgets all forms, all qualities, all name, all fame, and all activities for the mundane world. And due to his mature association with pure devotees, he is not out of contact with the Supreme Lord. It's constantly with God. Lord Krishna told the gopis, see, let me tell you the truth. There is nothing like separation between us. That does not exist because your mind is 100% fixed on thinking of me and all the wonderful persons we have put together. You constantly think about me, and by thinking about me, which is not different from myself, any of my activities which is not different from myself, from me, myself. So where is the separation? We are always together. But this separation is what, this feeling of separation is what nourishes them. That's what nourishes them. They are disturbed. They are disturbed. Can you imagine? Krishna is seated on the chariot, and everyone came out crying and fainting. When Akura came to take Lord Krishna, Akura was driving the chariot, and the gopis would faint and throw themselves at the wheel of the chariot. Akura has to expertly maneuver. He has to maneuver to be sure that he doesn't kick them, doesn't climb on them with his chariot. He was very experienced. He was driving like you see some people driving at the heavy traffic jam. When there is heavy traffic jam, you can have at least some glimpse of the experience, how Akura was driving. The gopis were throwing themselves on the road. Better that you cross me than to stay here and Krishna is not here. Manu Mangala told of Krishna. Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna. When we are playing together and it just, for a moment, we just go behind a tree and we cannot bear the pain of that moment separation from you. How do you think we will survive when you go to another country for a long time? How are we going to survive when we cannot tolerate a moment? Just because you are playing together, just hide behind a tree just for a moment. For this play, we feel so much pain or separation. Then, Krishna, how do you think we're going to survive when you travel to another country for a long time? In fact, it is death. It is nothing but death. So the gopis are, so instead of you to go, you just kill us. So you can go. That is all. That's what it means. Just kill us. You are just a killer. That's all. So what is different? We throw ourselves. You take Krishna away from us, and we throw ourselves at the wheel of the chariot, and we are crushed today. It is the same. It is the same. Better we die. So we can see the situation of the Pandavas is unbearable. Yes. So after speaking enthusiastically about the Pandavas' attraction for Krishna, Sudha Goswami continues in the description of the Lord's departure from Hastinapur, saying that drums were so he's continuing. Drums were sounded to honor the Lord. All their hearts were melting for him on the spot of attraction. They looked at him without blinking their eyes, and they moved hither and thither in perplexity. The female relatives, whose eyes were flooded with tears out of anxiety for Krishna, came out of the palace. They could stop their tears only with a great difficulty. They feared that tears would cause misfortune at the time of departure. There were hundreds of ladies in the palace of Hastinapur. All of them were attractive to Krishna, affectionate to Krishna. All of them were affectionate to Krishna. All of them were relatives also. When they saw that Krishna was going away from the palace for his native place, they were very anxious for him. And as usual, tears began to roll down their cheeks. They thought at the same time that tears at that moment might be a cause of misfortune for Krishna. Therefore, he wanted to check them. This was very difficult for them because the tears could not be checked. They don't want Krishna to leave. And they don't want the tears from their eyes to block their vision of seeing of Krishna. The tears is flowing constantly. Therefore, they smeared their tears with their eyes, and their heart throbbed. Therefore, ladies who were the wives and daughters-in-law of those who died in the battlefield never came in direct contact with him, talk of him, his name, etc., and became affectionate also. But all of them heard of him and his great activities, and thus they talked of him, his name, fame, etc., and they became affectionate also, like those who were in direct contact. Therefore, directly or indirectly, anyone who thinks of Krishna, talks of Krishna, or worships Krishna becomes attracted to him, become attached to him. Because Krishna is absolute. There is no difference between his name, form, quality, etc. Our intimate relation with the Krishna can be confidentially revived by our talking of, hearing of, or remembering him. It is so done due to spiritual potency. Due to spiritual potency. Out of a loving desire to see the Lord, the royal ladies of the Kurus got up on top of the palace and, smiling with affection and shyness, they showered flowers upon the Lord. They showered flowers upon the Lord. And the shy ladies, it's a quality of very wonderful quality of woman, shyness. Shyness is a particular extra natural beauty of the faces, and it commands respect from the opposite sex. This custom was observed even during the days of the Mahabharata. You are seeing that it is only the less intelligent persons, not well versed in the history of the world, who say that the observance of separation of female and male is an introduction to the infinite and purity of India. This shyness is a gift of nature to the fair sex, and it enhances their beauty and prestige, even if they are a less important in the family, or even if they are less attractive. We have practical experience of this. A sweeper woman commanded the respect of many respectable gentlemen simply by manifesting ladies' shyness. Half-naked ladies in the street do not command the respect, but the shy sweeper's wife commands respect from all. That is the Vedic wisdom. Therefore, the Vedic wisdom, forbid us to be attracted by false beauty. But because we are now in the darkness of ignorance, the Vedic civilization allowed very restricted mixing of woman and man. It said that the woman is considered to be the fire and the man is considered to be the bottom. The bottom was melt in association with fire, and therefore they may be brought together only when it is necessary. And shyness is a check to the unrestricted mixing. It is nature's gift, and it must be utilized. At that time, Arjuna, the great warrior and conqueror of sleep, who is an intimate friend of the most beloved Supreme Lord, took up an umbrella which had a handle of jewels and was embroidered with lace and pearls. Uddhava and Satyaki began to fan the Lord with decorated fans. And the Lord, as the master of Madhu, seated on scattered flowers, commanded them along the route. It was being heard here and there that the benediction being paid to Krishna were neither befitting nor unbefitting, because they were all for the Absolute, who was now playing the part of the human being. Location is now moving from Hastinapur to Dwarka. Absorbed in the thought of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, who is sung in select poetry. The ladies on the roof of all the houses of Hastinapur began to talk to him. This talk was more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas. Why is it so? Why is it so? Why is it so that the talk was more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas? Why is it so? These uneducated ladies are speaking. The Vedas are really highly educated. The Vedas are highly educated. Highly educated. Are very, very close to Lord Krishna. But it is said here that the ladies on the roofs of all the palaces, they have simply begun to talk of him. That talk was more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas. Why is that? Why is it so attractive than the hymns of the Vedas? Why is it more attractive than the Vedas? Did you not understand my question? Did you understand my question?
Yes, we do. We do, Maharaj.
So give me the answer.
The first is that because these ladies, they've had direct contact. They have seen Krishna and they heard so much about him. Then secondly, the separation, the feeling of separation they are experiencing. So these 2 points combined make it to be more attractive. Made their discussion to be more attractive.
More attractive. What is more attractive?
I said because of 2 reasons. Those ladies, they've had a direct contact with Krishna, and they also heard so much about him. Then secondly, the separation that Krishna is leaving them. So at that moment, it's so much intense. So that makes their discussions very attractive.
Whether personified, they are not close to Krishna. They are not close to Krishna. The Vedas personified, are they not close to Krishna? In the Vaikuntha, when Krishna sits on the throne, the next person to Krishna. When you sit, like you enter your office. When you enter your office and you sit down on the office chair, the next person that is there is Krishna's expansions. Vasudev and Niruddha, Sankirtan, and Pradyumna. They will sit. And next after that, the Vedas personified. Yeah, the Veda personified. So very close to Lord Krishna, very, very intimate with Krishna. And they constantly sing, no mistake, perfect meter, perfect construction, perfect. So they are not close to Krishna. I think they're very, very close to Krishna, like the ladies.
Yeah, they are very close.
Yeah. So Sutra Goswami is saying this talk was more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas. That was my question. Is that? What is so special in these ladies? Their hymns, their chanting is more. Also, you see the same thing in Chaitanya Charitamrita with Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami did mention that when the gopis chastise Krishna, Krishna's ears is blocked from hearing the Vedas personified. Even when Narada Muni came and sang sweet music, Krishna didn't hear because of the chastisement. Who want to be chastised? Who want chastisement? No? Yeah, but Krishna likes the chastisement from the gopis, and that will block his ear. That when Vedas personified are chanting the hymns, he will not hear because his ears will not be blocked from the chastisement to the gopis. So what is responsible? What is that is the talks of the ladies are so attractive, more attractive than the Vedas. What makes them more attractive than the Vedas? You understand my question? Anyone want to try? Yes, go ahead.
Is it because they love him and they're obedient?
Thank you. Thank you. Their talks were saturated with love of Krishna. That is why it's more attractive than the Vedas personified. The love for Krishna is so what they were speaking, what they were speaking, it was saturated, it was coming from their pure love. A Vedas personified, they are just doing their duty. Maybe but they are just doing their duty. So the difference is the intensity of the love they have for Krishna. That's what makes the difference. Therefore, while the ladies on the top of the houses in the capital of the kings of the Kuru dynasty were talking about the Lord, their talk was more pleasing than the Vedic hymns. Anything sung in the praise of the Lord is Shruti mantra. Just like we have the songs of Narottam Das Thakura. The songs are saturated with love. And the Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura, the love they have for Krishna, the love they have for Krishna, very, very intense, very pure, very, very clean. Therefore, whatever they do, whatever they say, it cannot be compared to the ordinary duty that is performed by people out of custom, out out of duty, not for anything, but not because of love, but that is duty, or some circumstances you want. That is different. So the difference is that their thoughts were saturated with love for Krishna. The language, the ladies who were all absorbed in the thought and actions of the Lord developed the consciousness of Vedic wisdom by the grace of the Lord. And therefore, although such ladies might not have been very learned scholars in Sanskrit or otherwise, still, whatever they spoke was more attractive than the Vedic hymns. The Vedic hymns in the Upanishads are sometimes indirectly directed to the Supreme Lord, but the talks of the ladies were directly spoken of the Lord, and thus they were more pleasing to the heart. The ladies' talks appear to be more valuable than the learned Brahmanas' benedictions. That's it. They said, (21 to 36) is what? The prayers of the ladies of Hastina and Krishna departs. From 21 to 36 contains the prayers of the ladies of Hastina, while Krishna is living for Hastina. From 21, this is a prayer. Begin from here. 21 to 36. First, they said, here he is, the original personality of Godhead, as we definitely remember him. He alone existed before the manifested creation of the mode of nature. And in him only, because he is the Supreme Lord, all living beings emerge as if sleeping at night, their energy suspended. It's a very powerful philosophy. How do they get this? Because I'm meditating on Krishna. They're meditating on Krishna. They're absorbed in Krishna consciousness, hearing about Krishna, thinking of Krishna. They're talking about the Krishna. So Krishna revealed himself to them. Therefore, their knowledge is perfect and complete. Proper saying that their prayer, their talk about Krishna is direct glorification of Krishna, not indirect, like the Vedas specify. Sometimes they speak indirect, means that it's very difficult to understand without explanation. But the ladies are speaking directly from the heart. Very simple and very clear. Those Govinda or Lord Krishna is the cause of Mahavishnu also. The lady is talking about his Vedic truth must have had it from authoritative sources. An authoritative source is the only means of knowing about transcendental subject matter. Definitely. There is no alternative. There is no alternative. There is no alternative. To hear attentively from the authorities. So they simply heard about Krishna from the authorities. Therefore, they developed all the wonderful qualities of a devotee. So this is the process. When a man is asleep at night, he forgets himself, what he is, what his duty is, and everything of his working state. But as soon as he awakens from slumber, he remembers all that he has to do and thus engages himself again in prescribed activities. The living beings also remain merged in the body of Mahavishnu during the period of annihilation. But as soon as there is another creation, they arise to take up their unfinished work. This is also confirmed by Peter 8:18-20. The Lord existed before the creative energy was set in action. Yes. The Lord is not a product of the material energy. Yes. His body is completely spiritual. Yes. And there is no difference between his body and himself. Yes, correct. Before creation, the Lord remained in abode, which is absolute and one. To build a house, one must be outside the house. So to create the material world, the Christian was in his abode and is manifesting the material world, which is eternal. It is not destroyed by the created world. So the ladies have a perfect knowledge about it because they have had everything perfectly from the authority. So they continue. The second prayer by the ladies. The personality of Godhead again desiring to give names and forms to his parts and parcels, the living entities, place them under the guidance of material nature. By its own potency, material nature is empowered to recreate. This is perfect. The Supreme Personality of Godhead creates. And after creating, he desired to give name. And he gave them names. And also, when there is form, there will be name. When there is form, there will be a name. When there is object, there will be a name. So all these are perfectly arranged by the Krishna. And then Krishna plays all living entities. Place all living entities under the material nature. So after this, the material energy, the material nature is empowered to recreate. So we can see how in living entity we are also creating so many things. So many things being created. So many things. As we are creating material, Krishna is so we say Krishna is the first creator. He is the first, the creator. And after him, LeBron became the second creator. And after that also, the tiny creatures are there. We create the material body we have, we create the situation we're experiencing, good or bad. We created it. It's not imposed upon us by Krishna, not created by Krishna. Our daily experiences are created by us. We are co-creators of Krishna. So we are experiencing everything that we are doing every day. We're creating in the mind by thinking, constantly thinking. We're creating our body, or everything around us, even to the physical thing. We're also creating so many things. This is our creation. Krishna is the supreme creator, and we are the tiny creators. Actually, the spiritual spark Living entities have no mature needs or forms, but in order to fulfill their desire to lord it over the mature energy or mature forms and names, they are given a chance for such a false enjoyment. At the same time, they are given a chance to understand the real position through the real scriptures. A foolish and forgetful living being is always busy with false names and false forms. Modern nationalism is a culmination of sort of false names and false forms. Men are mad after false names and forms. This is our ignorance in the mature world. They continue. Here is the same supreme personality of Godhead whose transcendental form is experienced by the great devotees who are completely cleansed of material consciousness by dint of rigid devotional service and full control of life and the senses. That is the only way to purify existence. Devotional service necessitates purifying the senses or engaging them in activities of devotional service. Devotional service is not inaction. Anything done in the service of the Lord becomes at once purified of its material nature. The material conception is due to ignorance only. There is nothing beyond Vasudeva. The Vasudeva conception gradually develops in the heart of the learned after a prolonged acceleration of their respective organs. But the process ends in the knowledge of accepting Vasudeva as all in all. In the case of devotional service, this very same method is accepted from the very beginning. By the grace of the Lord, all factual knowledge becomes revealed in the heart of the devotee due to detection by the Lord from within. Therefore, controlling the senses by devotional service is the only and easiest means. We are here for that. And in Christian consciousness, to control the senses. To control the senses. So control the senses is complete when the mind is controlled. If the mind is not controlled, other senses will not be controlled. We joke. If the mind is controlled, other senses will automatically control. So sense control should begin from the mind, should start and end from the mind. If the mind is not controlled, other senses can be controlled, but they will still react. But if the mind is controlled, all other senses are automatically controlled because the master of all the senses is the mind. And everything is functioning within the mind. If the mind does not accept anything to be real, that thing will not be real, even if it is real. Just like now, many people do not accept Christian consciousness to be real, so it remains unreal for them, even though Christian consciousness is the only thing that we need to do in our life. Because the mind did not accept it. When the mind accepts that my enjoyment is in money, the mind and all the senses will be fully active in trying to acquire money gratification because the mind accepted it. If the mind accepted that fame, power is what will give me pleasure, give me happiness, give me satisfaction, all the senses will be working very seriously towards that direction only. Only that direction only. So controlling the senses is best practice when the mind is in full control. And Krishna said, for the one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached. One who has conquered the mind the super soul is automatically. When I control the mind is the best friend. And when who has failed to do that, the mind is the worst enemy. So we should put our energy into controlling the mind. And everything becomes easy. Oh, dear friends, the ladies continue. Here is that very personality of Godhead whose attractive and confidential persons are described in the confidential parts of Vedic literature by his great devotees. It is he only who creates, he maintains and annihilates the material world and yet remains unaffected. This is perfect. Krishna creates, he maintains the creation, he also destroyed it. In his three expansions, he creates Brahma, he maintains it about Vishnu, and he destroys it by Shiva. But everything, both the Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, they are all dependent on Krishna. So Krishna is doing everything through his energies. Krishna is doing everything. He's doing everything through his energies. He is the only one who creates, the one who maintains, and he's the one who annihilates. And yet, Krishna does not take part in all this affected and being unaffected. Krishna is completely unaffected by it. And that also he explained himself in Bhakti. One who takes shelter of this knowledge, one who takes shelter of this knowledge, Bhagavad 14:2. One who takes shelter of this knowledge will never be affected when the material world is destroyed, or when it is being created, or when it is being maintained, either by creation, maintenance, and destruction. One who takes shelter of this knowledge will never be affected, will never be disturbed, because one will understand everything perfectly. You have perfect understanding. Yes. The ladies continue their prayers, their glorification. To continue. Yes. Why Lord Krishna had to come to this material? It's a perplexity for many people. Why will Krishna come here? To do what? To come and participate in our suffering, our enjoyment, our struggle, like any one of us. The ladies continue. Whenever they are kings and administrators living like animals in the lowest mode of existence, the Lord in his transcendental form manifests his supreme power. Yes. So the Lord comes. Why he comes? He comes when they are kings and administrators living like animals in the lowest mode of existence. The Lord in his transcendental form manifests his supreme power. The truth, positive, shows special mercy to the faithful, performs wonderful activities, and manifests various transcendental forms as is necessary in different periods and ages. Yes. This is the reason why the Supreme Lord comes. Otherwise, there's no need for him to come here. There's no need. For Krishna came, he will come and he will continue to come when there is a need. When there is a need, he will come. Yes. He descends wonderfully in a transcendental form to protect his devotees, establish righteous rulers like Maharaj Yudhishthira, and vanquish the anarchy and viciousness caused by irreligious administration like Dhira. After all, the cosmic creation is his property, and the living entities, being his parts and parcels, are his children. The Lord's natural duty is to sustain all living entities. The Lord's natural duty is to maintain the roof. That is his natural duty. To maintain the living entities. So he has a great duty to perform. And those duty can be performed by him only. So he has a responsibility and he perfectly does it for the benefit of all his parts and parcels. Yes. The result is that the whole atmosphere becomes charged with anarchy, ambitious elements, nepotism, bribery, cheating, aggression, and therefore famine, epidemic, war, and similar other disturbing features become prominent in human society. These we are already having. We're already having this. We are experiencing right before our face. All these things are taking place. And the devotees of the Lord or the faithful are persecuted by all means. It's happening. We see this every day. All these symptoms indicate the time of an incarnation of the Lord to re-establish the principles of religion and to vanquish the administrators. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. When Krishna descends, he exhibits superhuman acts just to prove his supreme right. And materialists like Ravana, Hiranyakasipu, Kamsa, etc., are sufficiently punished, etc. All the agents of Kamsa and Hiranyakasipu, all their agents that are causing unrest now, we punish for Krishna. They act in a manner which no one can imitate. For example, the Lord, when he appeared as Ram, reached the Indian Ocean. Who can do that? It's only himself who will do it, who can do something. So his activity cannot be imitated. And every intelligent person immediately understands, yes, this is the supreme personality of God, and no one else. So the ladies can see this and are giving detailed explanations to Krishna's wonderful activities, his wonderful transcendental appearance. It has also transcendental duties which he performed that everyone would benefit. Yes, when he appeared as Krishna from his very childhood, he showed superhuman activity by killing Putana, Agasura, Sakatasura, Kaliya, etc. And then his maternal uncle comes when he was at Dwarka. Now he is going, Krishna is going to Dwarka now. Now he's in Dwarka. He married 16,100 queens. And all of them were blessed with a sufficient number of children. They all had 10 sons and 1 daughter. 10 sons, 1 daughter. That is massive. The sum total of his personal family members amounted to 100,000 popularly known the Yadu clans. And again, during his lifetime, he managed to vanquish them all. He is famous as the Govardhan Hari, because he lifted at the age of only 7 the hero known as Govardhan. The Lord killed many undesirable things in his time, and as a Kshatriya, he fought warriors. He is famous as a Samurva, parallel. No one is equal to or greater than him in anything. In anything. This is the prayers, the wonderful understanding of the ladies. So the ladies' attention then turns to the supreme fortune of the Yadu dynasty and the land of, for in that dynasty and on that land, the Lord took birth and wandered during his childhood. The lady said that Dwarka city, to which the Lord was heading, is more glorious than heaven, because those living in Dwarka have attained the fortune of seeing Krishna while receiving the favor of his glances and sweet smiles. They added, his fortune here now, you see. Yes, 26. Oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Jadu, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura, where the supreme leader of all living beings, the husband of the goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. Yes. Yes. So Krishna's birth, therefore, in the family of the King Yadu, as the son of King Vasudeva, and he is transferred into the family of Nanda Maharaj in the land of Mathura, are all transcendental arrangements made by the eternal potency of the Lord. The fortunes of the Yadu dynasty and that of the inhabitants of the land of Mathura cannot be materially estimated, if simply by knowing the transcendental name of the birth, the nature of the birth, and activities of the Lord, one can get liberation easily. We can just imagine what is in store for those who actually enjoy the company of the Lord in person, as a family member or as a neighbor. All those who were fortunate enough to associate with the Lord, the husband of the goddess of fortune, certainly have obtained something more than what is known as liberation. Therefore, rightly, the dynasty and the land are both ever glorious by the grace of the Lord. Who can count the fortune? Who can count the fortune? Who can count the fortunes? The devotees we're talking about. The Pandavas seeing the Lord face to face every day. They are touching him every day. They are eating with him every day. They sleep with him. Arjuna and Krishna, they sleep together. They eat together. They will go on excursion together, go to the forest together. Everything they do together. They see the Lord face to face every day. The same we see in Navan. The cowhead boys, they will go to the forest with Krishna every day. Every day they play, every day wrestling every day for Krishna. And the night, Krishna and the gopis are dancing throughout every night. every night. No one single night that they're not dancing. Every night they're dancing together. Both day and night, Krishna is fully engaged with his lovable friends every day. Different varieties of pastimes every day of their life together. And we will see Krishna 24 hours. 24 hours. Bathing, cooking, dressing. Krishna every day. Who can calculate their fortune? Huh? Who is there to calculate their fortune? Is there any comment or question? Okay. Anyone? Should continue? Okay, Chitra Ketu Putra.
My question is.
I cannot hear you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Please make that microphone clear before you speak. I cannot hear you clearly. Correct it like you did last time. You were very nice, very clear. But today, no.
It's okay.
You're getting better, but not perfect yet. But it's getting better. Adjust it more.
Okay. So, is it okay now, please? Yeah.
What's this improvement?
Okay. So, please, my question is, as we are saying that the scripture is saying that who can calculate the fortune of the Pandavas as well as the gopis. The Pandavas were seeing Krishna every day. They were seeing Krishna every day, touching him and that. So is it also, can that such fortune be compared also to devotees who are, let's say, in the temple, seeing the actual Vigraha form of the Lord, maybe dressing the Lord every day, saying, can that be compared? Because it is said that the actual Vigraha form is not different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Can that one, is it also like that?
Yeah, that's very good.
Okay.
Very good question. Thank you. That's a good question. Yes. It is the same for a person who is actually consciously doing it. The same. A person who is constantly, consciously dressing the deity, bathing the deities, feeding the deities, and meditating for them, planning the next activity, the next cooking, the next dressing, the next festival. A person who is consciously doing this is having the same experience. So it's the same. But a person who is just externally doing this, as just put everything and just go, it's not the same. Not the same. There are two things. It's just mechanical, just external thing. But a person who is consciously doing that, there is no difference. Particularly not different because it is Krishna. Krishna is Krishna. The Acha Vigraha form is the same. You will be doing that even while you are resting at night. You'll be dressing the deity, but you continue the thing you do. We are doing with the deity to the whole day. Going for shopping, you are making dresses for them. You are picking flowers. You are setting the garlands and arranging other things. For such a person, you are directly there. Directly, the deity will be talking with you, guiding you, and then also you talk with them. So that transcendental relationship is there. If we are on that platform, it is the same. There's no difference. It's the same. Actually, that is the purpose. That is the purpose of having deity worship. That is the purpose. The purpose is to connect us to Krishna directly, so that we will perfect our transcendental relationship with Krishna here before we physically or we spiritually go to Krishna's abode. We have to learn how to do with him. The same thing. I remember I told some devotees in Brazil, not in Mauritius, in India. So I was telling the devotees who are assisting me my deity worship. So I told them, see, all of you should be very careful. All of you who are assisting me in the deity service should be very careful. Let us have this clear understanding that here is my kunj with Radha Samasundra and all the expansion associates. So don't think that what you're doing is material. You are here arranging flowers, you're arranging fruit, you're arranging the garland, you're arranging the dresses, you're arranging the ornament, you're arranging the cleaning of the places, you're arranging also what is going to be offered and everything. All these things, all of you who are supporting all these things for Christians, be very careful, because you are learning what we are going to do eternally in the spiritual world. So don't look at this. So anything which we think and feel here, it will react. So let us keep our mind in a proper way so that we don't create any inauspicious things. We can create only auspicious things. So it is the same. If you have the same mentality, the same mood, the same understanding, it is the same. So we should do it very, very nicely. We should do the deity service very nicely, because it's not material. We do it very nicely. Do it with full attention. Do with whole of our strength, and constantly meditate on that. What the dresses you have put together, put them today, all the ornament, the jewels. We think about this. What we offer to the deities. It is wonderful. And that is the whole idea, that Prabhupada arranged all these things for us. So we can become mature in our dealing with Krishna and perfect that maturity. So we go back to the spiritual world. Yes, Chaitanya Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandava Pranams, all glories. I just wanted to know if there is a difference between Goloka Bhakti and Vaikuntha Bhakti.
Yeah.
Which one are we doing?
Goloka?
Goloka Bhakti and Vaikuntha Bhakti.
Wow. Very good question. Vaikuntha is spiritual, and Goloka is a capital. Even in the material world, we know that the capital is different. The capital, the city is different from the country. The capital is different. The capital has more facilities, because that is where the prime minister or the president lives. So there are more facilities in that place, which are not in the whole country. The capital is the best. That's why it's called the capital. It's the best capital. You know, the small letter is the capital. So that means that Goloka is being the capital of Vaikuntha is superior to Vaikuntha. Goloka is superior. And what is the superiority? Sanatana Goswami said, Goloka is Vaikuntha with forest. Do you understand? Sanatana Goswami. He said, Goloka is Vaikuntha with forest. You understand? that means that it doesn't mean that there's no trees in Vaikuntha, but the forest is different. And what do you mean by forest? The forest is where that is Vrindavan. That is Vrindavan, where we have Rasa Lila. You don't have Rasa Lila in Vaikuntha. You have Rasa Lila in Goloka, not in Vaikuntha, but in Goloka. So that is different. There's difference. So the next question was, which one are we doing? Presently, what we're doing is Vaikuntha, because there's no deity worship in Goloka. So we are presently in Vaikuntha. The blowing conch-shell, that is Vaikuntha, not Goloka. In Goloka, there is no throne that Krishna is being placed upon and is being worshipped. Krishna is a cowhead boy. So he's a jolly boy. So we are preparing, although you can see here, but and in the temple we have Radha Govinda. So it's not Narayan. Yes, it is not physically Narayan, but the Narayan is outside, and Radha Govinda, so that is inside by the activities which we do. So we do arati, we do all the necessary worship. That is Vaikuntha. When we perfected that activity of Lakshmi Narayana worship, then it will turn to the real Radha Govinda, Radha Shamsunda, which we have the deity in the temple. The deity we have in the temple, the Radha Govinda, Krishna Govinda. But activity is Lakshmi Narayana. But it will give us by continuously and consciously doing this, it will give us the perfection to enter into Radha Govinda, Radha Shamsunda worship. Now we'll be playing with Krishna as a cowhead boy. What's a cowhead girl? So this is what we're doing. Yes, Goloka is Vaikuntha with forest, Vrindavan, where we have forest, Vrindavan, or Rasa dance. No Rasa dance in Vaikuntha, but there is Rasa dance in Goloka, Vrindavan. All right, thank you very much. Yes, Madhuvan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
In the Gita, it was spoken that Krishna said that he's seated in everyone's heart as the super soul.
Yes.
And according to other scriptures, that Krishna is the sum total of everything. It's inside of everything at the same time, it's outside of everything. So what's now the separation we are talking about? Krishna is always with us. So what about the separation? And why the Yadu dynasty, they felt so much separated, or they were thinking that they would be separated from Krishna.
Without the separation, you cannot enjoy. You cannot enjoy without separation. So that separation is enjoyment. When they feel that separation is enjoyment, Lord Krishna said, he was talking to Satyabhama and Dwaraka. I can leave you and all other girls, other queens. I can leave anyone immediately now and go to Vrindavan. I can do it now without remorse. But I will not go there, because if I go, they are going to be very, very happy, and at the same time, the pain that I'm going to leave them, the separation will increase the problem. Therefore, better that I don't go. That is why I'm staying here with you. Otherwise, I can leave anytime from here without any worry about all of you, because my attachment for the gopis is extremely strong. And Sanatana Goswami said yes. Lord Krishna stays in Vrindavan not because Krishna stays in Vrindavan, not because of the attachment the gopis have for Krishna. It's because of Krishna's attachment for the gopis that kept him in Vrindavan. All right? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. See you tomorrow.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
So
Krishna.
glory to His Holiness Bhakti Damodara Maharaj ki.
I'll do class tomorrow.
Why?
No class tomorrow.
Why? It should be
I
here
have
tomorrow.
my own class.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. All right. Yeah.
Mayapo. Mayapo. You come and talk for Maharaj to hear you. I want to inform you that from henceforth, that means starting from next week, all the classes, Bhakti Bible classes will be in the morning, 7:30 a.m. Ghana time. Saturday, 7:30 a.m. Sunday, 7:30 a.m. Okay? So to the end, that's how it's going to be. It's a new adjustment. All Bhakti Bible classes will be 7:30 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Hare Krishna. So the prompt. Thank you. Go Ranga. So tomorrow morning is 7:30, and it will just continue like that. Saturday 7:30, Sunday 7:30. Hare Krishna. Tell others. Hare Bo. Go Ranga. See you.
Goranga. See you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare
Ani,
Krishna.
ani.
You are free to go.